What's up, guys? Going to make this video talking about service businesses and why that's the type of business you should start if you're a young guy in your 20s or 30s, or really any age in general, and why I think this type of business is the best type of business that exists, and how you can get started and how you can hopefully make big money doing this. Right? Just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, again, I've been doing marketing and advertising in general for about 8.5, close to 9 years. And when I first got out of college, I was playing basketball at a tiny little school, little Division III school. It was really more like a high school, honestly, in Northwest Illinois. I was playing basketball there, and I was studying, business and marketing. That was my major, and I was a freshman, and I just ended up, not enjoying basketball anymore, and I ended up leaving and dropping out of college, which was a very taboo thing at the time. And I jumped into marketing and business. I took a Ty Lopez course, which if a lot of you guys hopefully know who Ty Lopez is, he's like the OG internet marketing guy. I took a Ty Lopez course that was I think like $999. Created my own marketing agency, and I got off to the races. And I've been doing that for a long time, and I've been able to work with some really cool people, make a decent amount of money doing it, get a lot of experience, and overall just, develop my career and, get to a place to where I'm able to make money really anywhere by leveraging this skill set. But my point is, in all this, is you want to start a service-based business, because what that's going to do is it's going to develop you personally to where you have a skill set, right? And you can deliver that skill set to a business, right? Or a individual, whatever it might be. You can deliver that skill set that you possess for a fee, right? You can get paid to do what you know how to do, right? This is a completely different thing than, going and opening up a grocery store, or creating a supplement business or something like that, to where you have to buy all this inventory. You have to go, stock the shelves. You have to buy a, building. You have to go buy all this furniture. You have to do all this stuff, hire employees. All these things are expenses that are going to slow you down. And you do not want these things when you have no idea what you're doing and you're first getting started. Does that make sense? If you have a skill set, like let's say it's marketing, let's say it's, sales, let's say it's copywriting, let's say it's anything. If you have a skill set, you can then go and take that skill set and sell it to businesses for money, right? If I go to, a pharmacy down the road and I tell them, hey, I can make you more money, pay me, and we're going to run some ads. You pay me $3,000, I'm going to make you $10,000, right? I can go to any pharmacy in the entire world and they're going to take that offer if I can prove to them that I can do that, right? There's a lot of people that say that, but they actually can't. That's a completely different story. My point is, they pay me, I do what I do, I put in some sweat equity, I spend my time doing it, and I deliver those results, right? I don't have to pay for inventory. I don't have to pay for a building. I don't have to pay for employees just yet, right? I can deliver that service and make money using the skills that I have in my brain. That's what you want to do. If you're a landscaper, if you want to go, mow yards, whatever it might be, the only cost there is the lawnmower and the gas, right? That's literally it. You go door knocking on doors saying, hey, I'll mow your lawn for $50, $60, whatever it might be. They say yes, you do what you already know how to do. You don't have to pay for employees. You don't have to do all these different things. You don't have to have inventory. You don't have to have a building. All those things might come with time. Yes, maybe you might need those eventually, but as of right now, you can make money on day one without having those things, and that's what you want. I watched a video from a guy that I really like on YouTube. He was talking about the difference between starting a business like a software company, which requires lots and lots of money up front to be able to get going. You have to hire developers, you have to hire software engineers, you have to hire all these people who could build this actual platform for you, and you're having to eat that cost when you first start out, right? So you might, if you're going to start a software company, you might be in the hole, $50, $100, and $150,000 just to get the product created. You haven't sold anything at that point, right? That's no marketing cost, that's no sales cost, that's nothing. That's just building the actual product, right? So he called it a trough business. Like if you think of a trough, it goes down. I could be wrong, but a trough, basically, as I understand it, is like something you can eat out of. Like it's, if you're feeding pigs or animals or whatever it might be, like you pour it in this like long horizontal like container. People might be listening to this that are like, yeah, that's not what that is. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I could be wrong. But the point is, with that type of business, you're immediately in the negative. You're spending all this money, and that's not what you want. You want a business that can just take off immediately without you having to invest all that upfront capital, right? So that would be the marketing business, like I talked about, a sales business to where you're just selling a product, affiliate marketing, landscaping business, whatever it might be. These types of companies that are service-based businesses, they don't require much money for you to start. I'm not saying they're going to be free to start because there's always a cost with everything, but those things don't require nearly as much upfront investment as building a product that's you have to buy a bunch of you're gonna have MOQs, minimum order quantities. You're gonna have all this different kind of stuff. You have to build a big website. You have to do all this different kind of stuff. There's businesses that require lots of upfront capital that might have more scalability per se, and there's also service businesses that you might spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get all the equipment prepped and build an initial system, but after that you can get right to work. It's not going to require you to spend $100,000, $50,000 to get started if you want to become a landscaper. That's ridiculous, right? So I would encourage you guys, unless you have deep pockets and money that you can afford to lose, I would encourage you to build a service-based business first. For your first business, I would encourage you to build a service-based business because that is going to allow you to get started with minimum amount of money, as opposed to starting a business that is going to require you to have these giant minimums, and you have to purchase inventory, and then you have to hire a staff, and then after that you got to get an office because the staff needs a place to go. Then you have to have a building because that's where you have to have the office, and all this different kind of stuff, guys. You do not want to have to deal with that when you do not know what you're doing. That's the last thing you want to do, because the reality is none of us know what we're doing when we first get started. Most people that have been doing this for a long time have no idea what they're doing still, right? So we're all just figuring this out, and you don't want to be under the gun with all these expenses when you start your business, because it's going to be so much more difficult for you to pay those bills and stay afloat when you have all these things you have to pay for, right? So start a service-based business. That's what I would highly recommend. Learn how to make money online, learn how to create some kind of skill, learn how to use AI, learn how to do all these different things that you guys hear about and that you know just as well as I do. Learn how to do this first before you start some kind of product business or some kind of trough business, as the guy that I mentioned earlier had called it. You don't want to create a trough business as your first business. It's going to require too much upfront capital, and you don't have that, and I don't have that, right? So that's what I would recommend to you guys. Let me know. I mean, again, there's plenty of outliers and people who have done just the exact opposite of what I'm talking about here and have been massively successful, and I'm not saying that can't happen. Of course it can. But I'm just speaking to the regular Joes like me in particular. I'm not a special guy by any means when it comes to, business skills. But this is something that's definitely helped me out and kind of helped steer my direction in terms of, businesses that I've considered starting and other stuff like that, and just overall general career direction, that I've used, throughout my life so far. So I hope this is helpful, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. If this is helpful, like this video, subscribe to the channel. It would very much appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you do. If not, all good, guys. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Hope you guys have a great day. Kick some ass, and we'll speak soon. Thanks.